Your kidneys filter roughly 50 gallons of blood every single day, quietly removing waste, balancing minerals, and regulating blood pressure, all without you ever feeling them work. And here's what surprises most of my patients when I tell them this. Kidney damage almost never announces itself early. There's no sharp pain, no clear warning sign in the years when the damage is still preventable. By the time most people feel something wrong, a meaningful percentage of kidney function is often already gone. The good news, and it's real good news, is that what you drink first thing in the morning has a genuine, measurable effect on how hard your kidneys have to work and how well they hold up over the decades. I am Dr. James Parker, and after 15 years of watching kidney function decline quietly in patients who felt completely fine right up until a lab result told a different story, I've become somewhat obsessive about one simple question with every patient over 60. What's the first thing you drink in the morning? The answer to that question tells me more about someone's long-term kidney health than almost anything else I ask. Today, I'm walking you through the 5 best morning drinks for supporting your kidneys, starting from the ground floor and building up to the one drink that actually forms the entire foundation everything else depends on. Stay through to the end, because the order I'm presenting these in matters, and the final one is the piece almost everybody underestimates. Before we get into the list, let's quickly cover why mornings specifically matter so much for your kidneys. Overnight, while you sleep for 6, 7, 8 hours, you take in zero fluid. Your kidneys, meanwhile, don't stop working. They continue filtering waste from your blood the entire time, using whatever fluid reserves your body has left from the day before. By the time you wake up, your urine is naturally more concentrated, your blood is somewhat thicker, and your kidneys have been working with less fluid support than at any other point in the 24-hour cycle. What you drink in that first hour after waking either helps your kidneys catch up quickly, or it adds an unnecessary burden right at the moment they're already under the most strain. That's exactly why morning drink choice deserves far more attention than most people give it. Let's start with number 5, and don't let the number fool you, because this is the one everything else on this list depends on. Number 5 is plain water. I know this sounds almost too obvious to include on a list like this, but I promise you, most people are getting this simpler than they think and worse than they think at the same time. Water is the actual mechanism by which your kidneys dissolve and remove waste products from your blood in the first place. Every specialized drink we're about to cover works within the context of adequate hydration. None of them replace it. Without enough plain water, your kidneys are forced to work with concentrated urine, which raises the risk of kidney stones forming, since minerals and waste products have less fluid to stay dissolved in. Concentrated urine also creates a more favorable environment for bacteria to multiply, increasing infection risk, and infections that travel upward can directly affect kidney tissue itself. Here's the part that surprises people most. The majority of adults over 60 are chronically underhydrated, not because they're ignoring their thirst, but because the thirst signal itself becomes less reliable with age, meaning the body's natural cue to drink water weakens at exactly the life stage when adequate hydration matters most for kidney protection. This is precisely why plain water sits at the foundation of this entire list rather than at the top as some kind of afterthought. Every other drink we're about to discuss adds a specific additional benefit on top of hydration, but none of them substitute for it. A practical target for most adults is somewhere in the range of 6 to 8 glasses spread across the day, starting with a full glass immediately upon waking, before coffee, before anything else, specifically to address that overnight concentration effect directly. Number 4 is ginger tea. And this is one I find gets unfairly avoided by a lot of seniors, often out of an old, outdated worry that ginger is somehow too strong or too stimulating for an aging digestive system. The research on ginger and kidney health tells a very different story. Ginger contains specific compounds called gingerols and shogals, and these compounds have a direct protective effect on kidney tissue itself, not just a general digestive benefit. Specifically, they appear to reduce oxidative stress within the nephrons, the microscopic filtering units inside your kidneys that do the actual work of cleaning your blood. Less oxidative stress at that cellular level means less cumulative damage to those filtering units over years of use. Ginger also has a meaningful effect on blood sugar control and circulation, both of which matter enormously for kidney health, since elevated blood sugar and poor circulation are two of the most well-established drivers of long-term kidney decline, particularly in people with prediabetes or diabetes. A simple way to include this is steeping fresh sliced ginger or a ginger tea bag in hot water for 5 to 10 minutes each morning. And if the flavor is too strong on its own, a small amount of honey can make it considerably more approachable without meaningfully changing the benefit. Number 3 is green tea, and this is one of the most extensively researched beverages when it comes to long-term organ protection generally, kidneys very much included. Green tea is rich in a class of compounds called catechins, and the most studied of these specifically is EGCG. These compounds have a demonstrated anti-inflammatory effect throughout the body, and kidney tissue responds to that anti-inflammatory support directly, since chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the quiet drivers behind gradual kidney function decline over the years. Green tea also appears to lower oxalate levels in the body, which matters significantly for kidney stone prevention, since oxalate is one of the primary minerals involved in the most common type of kidney stone. And on top of these direct effects, green tea supports healthy blood pressure regulation, which is critical for kidney health specifically, because your kidneys contain an enormous network of small blood vessels, and high blood pressure over years is one of the leading causes of kidney damage worldwide. Put together, the anti-inflammatory effect, the oxalate reduction, and the blood pressure support make green tea one of the strongest long-term protective choices on this entire list, more of a slow, cumulative benefit than an immediate one. A cup or two in the morning, unsweetened, is enough to start building this protective effect, and it's a genuinely easy swap for anyone already in the habit of drinking a hot beverage first thing. Number 2 is unsweetened cranberry juice, and I want to be specific about the word unsweetened, because this is where a lot of people accidentally undo the entire benefit. Cranberry juice contains specific compounds that prevent certain bacteria, particularly E. coli, from being able to physically attach to the walls of the urinary tract. This matters enormously for kidney health because it isn't really about the bladder in isolation. Urinary tract infections that go unmanaged or recur repeatedly have a real pathway upward into the kidneys themselves, where they can cause a more serious kidney infection. And repeated kidney infections over the years contribute meaningfully to long-term kidney damage. By making it physically harder for bacteria to gain a foothold in the first place, cranberry juice reduces the frequency of these infections at the source before they ever get the chance to travel upward. There's an additional detail that matters specifically for older adults. Cranberry juice is relatively low in potassium compared to many other fruit juices, which makes it a safer, regular choice for people with reduced kidney function, since one of the challenges in more advanced kidney disease is managing potassium intake carefully. The critical distinction here is unsweetened versus the sweetened cranberry juice cocktails sitting on most grocery store shelves, which are loaded with added sugar that works directly against everything we're trying to accomplish, adding unnecessary strain rather than protection. Look specifically for 100% cranberry juice with no added sugar, and if the tartness is too strong on its own, diluting it with plain water is a far better solution than reaching for a pre-sweetened version. And now, number 1, warm lemon water, the drink I recommend to nearly every single patient over 60 as their very first choice each morning, and the one that ties this entire list together. Warm lemon water accomplishes several things simultaneously, which is exactly why it earns the top spot. First, it's simply water, meaning it delivers the core rehydration benefit we discussed at the foundation of this entire list, addressing that overnight fluid deficit immediately upon waking. Second, and this is the detail most people have never heard, Lemon provides a natural source of citrate, a compound that plays a direct, specific role in preventing kidney stone formation by binding to calcium in the urine and reducing the likelihood that calcium will crystallize into a stone in the first place. This is precisely why citrate-based approaches are something urologists specifically recommend to patients with a history of kidney stones, and lemon is one of the most accessible natural sources of it. Third, lemon delivers a meaningful dose of vitamin C, and vitamin C acts as an antioxidant that helps reduce oxidative stress specifically within kidney tissue, working through a similar protective mechanism to what we discussed with green tea and ginger, just through yet another pathway. The combination of immediate rehydration, natural stone prevention through citrate, and antioxidant protection through vitamin C, all in one simple morning drink, is why warm lemon water sits at the very top of this list rather than any of the other 4 excellent choices we've covered. The preparation is genuinely simple. The juice of half a fresh lemon squeezed into a glass of warm, not boiling water, consumed first thing in the morning, ideally before anything else. Before I wrap up, I want to give you 3 important warnings that came up repeatedly while I was putting this list together, because getting the right drinks matters just as much as avoiding the wrong ones. First, avoid sugar, sweetened juices, and artificial drink mixes as your go-to morning beverage. Added sugar creates an inflammatory burden that works directly against every protective mechanism we've just covered, and it adds unnecessary strain to a kidney system you're specifically trying to support. Second, be genuinely careful with bottled lemon juice and flavored waters marketed as a convenient shortcut. Many of these products contain preservatives, added citric acid from non-lemon sources, or artificial flavoring additives that don't carry the same natural citrate and vitamin C profile as fresh lemon. And in some cases, these additives can add their own unnecessary processing burden. Fresh is genuinely worth the extra 30 seconds it takes. And third, this is important. More water is not automatically better for everyone, specifically for people with advanced kidney disease. In more advanced stages of kidney impairment, fluid intake sometimes needs to be carefully managed and even restricted, because kidneys that are already struggling to filter properly can become overwhelmed by excess fluid rather than helped by it. If you have a diagnosed kidney condition, please don't take general hydration advice like this and apply it without checking with your doctor first, since your specific situation may call for a genuinely different approach than what benefits a healthy or mildly aging kidney system. Here's the core message I want you to walk away with today. Kidney damage after 60 doesn't happen from one dramatic event. It happens slowly, quietly, from small daily habits repeated for years, whether that's chronic mild dehydration, years of sugary drinks, or repeated untreated infections. But kidney protection works through that exact same mechanism in reverse, small, smart choices repeated every single morning, genuinely add up over months and years into a meaningfully different outcome for your long-term kidney health. You do not need expensive supplements. You do not need a dramatic overhaul of your entire diet. Even switching just one thing, that first drink you reach for each morning, to one of the 5 we've covered today, is a real evidence-based step toward protecting an organ that quietly does an enormous amount of work for you every single day without ever asking for credit. If this list gave you a simple change, you can start tomorrow morning. Take a second and tap that like button. It helps this information reach more people who are unknowingly straining their kidneys with their current morning routine. And tell me in the comments, which of these 5 drinks do you already have as part of your morning, and which one is completely new to you? I read every comment, and it shapes exactly what I bring you next. Before you go, if today's video gave you a simple, practical change for your mornings, my last video addresses something a lot of women over 60 have privately wondered about but rarely bring up out loud. It's called "These 8 Bathroom Habits Make Older Women Smell Bad," and it explains why this has nothing to do with cleanliness and everything to do with specific, well-documented changes happening in aging skin, along with 8 simple adjustments that actually address the real cause. If today's video felt genuinely useful to you, that one will too. I'll leave it right here for you. I'm Dr. James Parker, Take care of what's working quietly for you every single day, and I'll see you in the next one.